Hello, Miss A, and this is class F1004. It's actually a mini class, and it is the fourth class of the six class series. So if you haven't seen the other classes, go ahead and take a look at them. There are some wonderful, fun writing prompts there, as this is also a fun writing prompt class for you. And the focus is on figurative language to help you become a better writer for your class. If you decide you want to write a book or you have a wonderful story that you're thinking about, you can use a figurative language to make it exciting for your reader because that's what figurative language is about. And the purpose is to help you become a better writer in whatever you are writing. So today, let's talk about the focus of figurative language for this mini class. I always have a topic of a figurative language skill. And let's see, for today's class, first, the question of the week. What is figurative language? Well, figurative language consists of literary tools authors use to make their written works more interesting. And I talk about that in every class because that is the purpose. Instead of having a regular old rambling of boring, uninteresting words jumbled up, figurative language helps those words format into a fun manner to make your reader continue reading what you have written. And so this week, well, of course, before we go on, there's always the basics. What are the basic uses of figurative language? Of course, always in a story, in a poem. You would like to write a nice poem. I love poetry. A speech, sentences, of course, we all the time, I'm sure you have those spelling words in your class. And instead of having a regular old sentence, just make it a happy, fun sentence and use some figurative language. And then there are always the times when you have to write a paragraph. I'm sure there are many, many times when your teacher says, okay, you need to write a paragraph on this or a paragraph on that. So go ahead and make that paragraph very exciting to your teacher and use some figurative language. So this mini class, the figurative language topic is alliteration. What is alliteration? It is the repetition of the same consonant sound in a sequence of words, usually at the beginning. Okay, so you use consonants for the alliteration figurative language tool. And of course, I have a wonderful example for you to give you an idea. But alliteration there's also little trickiness in it. It doesn't necessarily just have to be in the same sentence. It could be a series of sentences that you use it in, okay? But you have to repeat that consonant sound. Now, here is the example. The tilted treetops touched the rooftop. Ooh, notice all those T's in the beginning here. Again, the tilted treetops touched the rooftop. So this is an example of alliteration. Now, think of a way you can use that one in a sentence as you're writing that paragraph for your teacher, or some of the others that you've learned from the other mini classes. Perfect way to make your reading exciting and wonderful to the reader. And again, I mentioned this is a great book for you to use to help build your writing skills and have fun writing. That's the purpose of this. to help you have fun writing, give you some information. There are a few games in there, even some spelling words that you may want to look at. But it's on Amazon, so go ahead and get that book and then use it to help you to continue to build your writing skills. Now, in each of these mini classes, I like to read an example for you so you can see how writers are actually using figurative language in their books. Now, this is a book, it's a wonderful little story, and it's called Love You Forever. And it's written by Robert Munsch, and the illustrator is Sheila McGraw. So it's a wonderful little story about a little boy as he grows up. But of course, I'm only going to read a small little sampling to give you an example of how an author actually used alliteration. For example, that's what we're talking about, or just figurative language in a book. All right, so listen. And while he rocked her, he sang, I'll love you forever. I like you for always. As long as I'm living, my baby you'll be. So, did you notice the alliteration usage in that line? There are quite a few L's in that section there, right? So, the L consonant we saw here in this one. Again, like I said, figurative language is a wonderful way to make your writings better for the reader, because if you just have the same old blah, like just basic sentence, after a while the reader will put that down. But if you have some exciting figurative language there that can help keep their interest and make them want to continue reading. So of course, I'm always talking about figurative language because I love it. You can do some wonderful things with it, and it's just there are great tools for you in your writing, even in your classroom. Now, of course, there's always a writing prompt in these mini classes because that's the purpose, the writing prompt to help you practice so you can make your writing skills much better. Now, let's take a look at the writing prompt for this week. Now, wow, let's see, what do we have here? School bus, oh, a couple of school buses, 3 school buses. Hmm, where is this school? Have a little city backdrop there. Okay, now what's happening? So just take a look at this and think about what you can write here in a paragraph, 2 paragraphs. I'm always saying 2. And remember, when you're writing a paragraph, you need to have at least 4 sentences, at least 4. Okay, so go ahead, look it over a little bit, let your mind think about it. What story do you see here? I see a story here, a very fun story. So go ahead, write that. And as always, I love to read what you have written. So go ahead and send me a message and let me know what you wrote about. Pretty soon, I will start reading some of these wonderful little stories that I get. All right, so Remember, alliteration is the figurative language tool of this week. And go ahead, remember that prompt. You can, of course, look at it again and send me what you have written. And hopefully you'll join me for the next mini class coming up soon.